Here is part 9 of why we are in no contact with my mother-in-law, who refers to herself as the sainted mother. So at this point, we moved to our new home. We ended up having a baby boy and then a baby girl. And I got a message on my phone from his mom on Facebook. And she said, I am unwell and I don't want what happened to Matthew and his father to happen to me and Matt. And I would like to talk to him because I'm not doing well. And of course, I don't want her to, pass away without talking to my husband. And I passed the message along to him, and he thought on it of whether or not he should talk to her. And he was really team like, no, I shouldn't talk to her. And then I finally was like, I don't know, babe. I think that this might be a good idea. I think you should probably just reach out to her, make amends. If it is the end, you don't want to have to go through that again. So he reaches out to her, and she tells him that she's not doing well and she has to go to these treatments and things like this, and they are in contact and everything seems to be fine at this point. So she immediately is wanting to meet our kids, and Matthew and I were like, no, that's not happening. You're not meeting the kids, especially not right away. We just got back into contact with you after how many years and after how many falling outs. That's just not the direction we're going. Maybe after some time of us proving that the relationship is stable, because we are not going to just let people come in and out of our kids' lives at the drop of a hat. And at this time, our kids are, my daughter was probably newly born, and my son would have been about 18 months, maybe 2 years old. And my husband and her are corresponding for the better part of that year. And over the course of this year, she's being very generous. She's sending the kids gifts. She purchased car seats for my daughter and a swing set in the backyard and had somebody put it together in our yard. She told my husband, have somebody come out and do it, and I'll take care of it. And I'm not discounting the fact that this was incredibly generous. I was a stay-at-home mom, or I was about to become a stay-at-home mom, and a swing set in the backyard for the kids was amazing. And car seats are expensive, so we were grateful and we said thank you. And so after time and close to a year after talking, she decides she wants to come and meet the kids. And we're like, you know what? It's been a year. Everything's been on the up and up. Everything's been good. The relationship has been good. Sure, you can come meet the kids. And she was gonna stay at a hotel locally, but for some reason she didn't have a valid driver's license, or she needed to renew her driver's license, and she couldn't get into the Secretary of State. And my husband kept making her appointments and she kept not going. So eventually he was like, Mom, if you really want to come, just come and stay with us, which I don't know why we were thinking that, because then she was driving on a not valid license all the way over here. I'm not sure why we decided this, but then she came and stayed for several days with us. And it was fine when she was here. I have pictures of my kids and their grandmother on that side, and everything was mostly normal. I'm going to say mostly normal because we had some weird stuff, but all things considered, for how this has gone from the beginning of time until now, it felt pretty normal. So while she was here, she made a few comments about wanting to take our kids to McDonald's, or wanting to take our kids places. And we were like, nope, we don't let anybody drive our kids anywhere. We don't let our kids go in anybody else's car. That's not something we're going to do. And then when she got back home, she was convinced that we thought she was going to kidnap the kids. Why can't I take them? Why can't I take them? I used to take you to McDonald's all the time when you were little. Do you think I'm going to kidnap them or something? And it's like, well, I didn't before, but now that you put that out there, why would you say that? And my husband and his mom got in a few little tiffs about this. But things really blew up when she found out that my husband was in contact with his aunt in California after his cousin died. So his cousin is our same age, and sadly she passed away. And his aunt had reached out asking if there was any photos of them as kids that he had or that his mom had for the funeral. And the whole aunt situation is an entire story in and of itself. The cliff notes of it is, Matt's grandfather was a real estate guy in California, and he had a ton of different properties. And his aunt, who lived in California, was taking care of his grandpa till the end and was maintaining properties and things like that with the grandpa in California. And in this time, the grandfather developed Alzheimer's. And there was some dispute over when the will was signed, if the grandfather was in his right mind when he changed the will to be leaning more towards the aunt who had been taking care of him in California versus the other son, Matthew's father, who was living in Michigan. And so there was a dispute over the execution of the will. And they felt, my father-in-law, mother-in-law, that more money should have been given to them versus his aunt in California. And there was bad blood here, as things usually happen when there's an estate dispute. And the fact that she found out that my husband was in contact with his aunt from California regarding his cousin's funeral blew everything up. And Matt said, I'm done. I am done. We have tried, we have tried, we have tried. We are not doing this anymore with you. We are not having a relationship with you. You are not coming around our kids. We're not doing this hot and cold thing anymore. And that was the last time that we willingly spoke to her. In the next part, and hopefully the last part of this saga, I'll tell you the very last time that we were in contact with her, and there will be a trigger warning on the next part as well.